My name is Felicia Manley, and I just completed my Master's in Economics and Postbaccalaureate Certification in Community Development and Planning.
Hi, I'm Chantel Kitchen. I am a political science graduate student.
My name is David Alton. I'm an economics graduate student, and as soon as I turn in this paper, I will have a master's in economics.
Hi, I'm Anna Jans, and I'm an economics student at Western Illinois University. I just graduated with my master's in economics.
My name is Shayna Warren. I'm an applied statistics graduate student.
My name is Mason Ruger, and I just started my Master's of Economics.
So my name is Pedro Videgaray, Director for Study Abroad and Outreach at Western Illinois.
My name is Shankar Gimire. I teach economics at Western Illinois University.
Coming down is the hardest thing. Well, the good old days.
The experience in Nepal was amazing. To meet all these different people, to see this beautiful nature, to see people in a developing country improve and smile, to sell stuff to you, it's just amazing.
As far as the people, I was expecting to get many stares because of my complexion and my hair, which I did. And a lot of foreigners, the people that are actually from Nepal, very pleasant. The foreigners, very pleasant.
My travel study experience here was very eye-opening. I would not be able to survive here at all. The food made me sick. I can't walk up any of these hills. I didn't bargain one time for anything. So I realized, I can't live here, but I'm really glad I did come here and experience something that was completely out of my comfort zone. So my travel experience in Nepal was really fun and exciting. Visiting new places, meeting new people, seeing really new things. The people were very, very nice. Everyone welcomed you with a smile, even if they didn't have a roof over their head. The food was really good. It's a little repetitive having it over and over again, but it was delicious and spicy. And then the geography was pretty interesting. There's never seen so many hills or mountains in my life, and a lot of bumpy roads.
It was an amazing experience to see everyday life here is not completely different, but significantly different than what we're used to. Things we take for granted that just aren't even thought of here.
Nepal is a really unique country. I mean, it's right in between India and China, these powerhouses, but Nepal is very much so still developing. From meeting different people to the areas we went to, from health clinics to hospitals to NGOs and visiting universities. There's definitely some progression, but still a lot of work to be done. There's this huge juxtaposition in visiting places. You see resorts coming in and then tin houses next door. So it's almost textbook developing country because people are coming here for part of the experience to visit Nepal, this country with mountains in abundance, the biggest mountain in the world, but there's still that part where people are living well below the poverty line. So it's a really unique country, and the different people we met, and going to different areas and shopping and still talking to people about how they're living their everyday life.
My analysis was that urban water has actually decreased sanitation and accessibility just a little bit since 1990, but rural has really increased for the population when it comes to how much water they can drink. And I definitely saw that when I was here, because in the rural areas we were seeing a lot more increase of ways of getting water, irrigation to villages. But in the urban area, just today we had a downpour, and water that you would normally take from rainwater would be really good water, but it just filled the streets and smelled terrible. So I think that just with the population growing in urban areas, it's really decreased access to sustainable, good water.
The focus of my study was tourism. And tourism was up in 2016 and is expecting to increase 6% for 2017. And after the earthquake in April 2015, tourism actually declined, but it's picking back up. And it's going to create, I think in 2016 it actually created about 400,000 jobs. So it'll increase.
So for my study, the Sustainable Development Goal was gender equality. So again, agreeing with many developing countries, women play traditional roles, but they also are at times head of households and running a lot of what's going on in the home. And carrying big things, but then also taking care of their kids, cooking the food. So you don't always see them in higher level positions, but it is on the up. We had a young girl, 21 years old, tried to become mayor of Kathmandu, and that's an incredible opportunity that she took, and then also to really create some movement and momentum with the young people. 5 to 7 years ago, you wouldn't see that, and now you do, and that's an incredible accomplishment for a country that's still categorized as developing.
I decided to study female empowerment, especially in the political sphere, which Nepal is very advanced in that field. You know, they have a female president, 33% of their parliament is women. But on paper, Nepal looks really good for female empowerment, but when you actually get here and experience it, there aren't very many women actually doing a whole lot. Something simple as driving, it's majority men, and you know, like compared to the US, like for our waiters, we're also a lot of men. And so like, even though Nepal has a lot of political female in power, on the streets it's not, it's very much male dominated.
So my focus of my study, I have kind of two. I spent a whole semester on infrastructure in developing countries where we talked of sanitation, electricity, communication, and then for my paper about Nepal, I talked about sanitation facilities, which are basically public toilets. And from the literature and from what I saw is the more wealthy areas had really nice developed sanitation areas, but the people that would benefit the most would be the poor, the lower class, the villages that don't have anything. So I think if they had those resources, they would help improve a lot.
My focus was on health, specifically mortality. So that was a little bit harder to observe in person, but we did see major improvements being made in rural areas as far as access to healthcare, which has drastically increased people's life expectancies. So we did see a hospital, a regional hospital that was pretty well equipped, pretty modern. And then we went to see a health post, which was a little bit less sophisticated, but they still provided most of the essential services that people would need on a day-to-day basis. And if they couldn't provide it, they referred them to the hospital, which in our case wasn't very far away.
The one thing I remember the most is just the way that they live. Watching women carry giant jugs of water on their back up a hill, and that's just completely normal for them, whereas for me, I'm just like, you know, just get in a car and do it. But for here, just walking up that hill carrying everything was very normal, and I'm going to remember the way that they live their life, which is completely different than how I live mine.
My most memorable experience was probably Pashupatinath Temple. It's a Hindu temple. We were able to see a few public cremations going on, and then number one favorite memory is going to be feeding monkeys, because that was amazing.
So the one thing that I definitely remember the most was we went and visited the ISARD group, which is a non-governmental organization. Basically, the group has worked in the rural areas, but it's more of a self-help group. And so the executive director came up with a way to get water from these creeks to 2 big basins in 2 different villages. And it's really going to help these 2 villages of about 160 people. And I thought that was the most interesting thing because they only donated money for the supplies, but the people donated their labor for their own water.
I'll remember the people we've met. We made some friends with some of the people we bought items from, and some of the young girls that we met on campus and universities. So the people and many of the things that we'll take back with us.
I believe, what is it, Pashupati Temple, where they actually had 2 corpses wrapped, prepared to be cremated according to Hindu religion. So that is the one thing I would remember the most.
The one thing I remember most from this trip is probably the 7-hour hike where I had this beautiful sunburn. It was just a whole day of climbing hills, getting to know each other, to see people, to talk to people, take pictures with babies, and that's probably what I'll take the most from.
I've been in Nepal before, and what I like of Nepal is in many ways it's a reminder of the many things I've seen in the country. The quality of social interactions, the kindness in spite of the poverty some means, and also the uniqueness of the culture, the uniqueness of the landscape. And about the students, I mean, again, seeing them interacting among each other, creating and making a team enjoying themselves together, you know, and then at the same time finding ways to enjoy themselves here individually in this incredible country.
I mean, take advantage of going to another country. I mean, some people don't get to experience even outside of the city that they're born and grow up in. So to seize this opportunity of going halfway across the world, another continent, there's traditions and cultures and people and languages that you'll never hear sometimes in your own state. And so to really go there, it's an investment in monetary wise, but then also in yourself. To really realize we're this very small person in our area, that the world's much bigger than we realize. And so many things that are parallel with where we live, but then also in another country.
I would say just go for it. Have fun. Like, I had to work 366 hours to pay for this. We're only going to be in Nepal and on the plains for about 360. I would still say it's worth it.
I would say you should go for it. Even if do not read the blogs, because I actually read blogs before I signed up, and some of the things weren't so pleasant. But a lot of the people, several of the students that were actually from Nepal, told me just stop reading the blogs, and I've actually had a good experience. So it's worth it.
I would say if you have the opportunity and time to do it now before you graduate, because once you graduate, it'll be really hard to find time to study or travel or see the world, and especially hard to find people to go with you. So it's really nice when you have a cohort of students who all want to go see the same things, study the same things, and I would just say take advantage of it.
I would encourage anyone to study abroad. You can read all the books, you can do all the research. Until you actually go to that place and experience that culture, you're never actually going to know anything about it.
I would say anyone considering studying abroad, just remember that knowing what to do in a country is always best if you have someone who's either been there before, who's already looked stuff up. It's so much easier to have someone else do the travel planning for you. Plus, you're getting class credit, so it's really hard to beat.
Do it because, I mean, no matter what, there are way too many pluses that you get from an investment like this one. Learning about yourself, learning about the culture, learning about your future, learning about your faculty. I think that your students today know you better and appreciate what it means to be a good faculty member. I was happy to come. I mean, not only because I was a co-leader, because I also wanted to know more about how students interact in a reality that is entirely different to what they are used to.
This is the first time I organized with Pedro a travel study program to Nepal. It was a very good experience to be with the students here in Nepal. We wanted to design this course to be focused on economics. We called it Economics of Developing Countries, focused on the study of Nepal. But we had topics from health and education and employment and tourism and culture and language and people, food, everything that we see and you want to know about other countries. So I think it was one of the most successful programs that I ever wanted to do. I would like to continue doing something like this. I want to put another program together. Maybe in another country. It does not have to be Nepal. I felt I wanted to do this first time in Nepal because I am from Nepal. I know about people. I know about the system here. I knew friends who could put together a program at a lower cost. That was one of the things I think students appreciate. So hopefully we will be able to do it again.
Maybe